Meghan Markle's estranged older half-sibling today revealed he warned Prince Harry his very shallow sister would ruin his life and had abandoned her own flesh and blood as he entered the celebrity Big Brother house in Australia with the Sussexes primed for more incendiary claims over the coming weeks. Thomas Markle Jr., 55, who has joined stars including Caitlyn Jenner, Neighbours actor Luke Handley, Trump aide Omarosa and NRL player Matt Cooper for the Australian version of CBB, claimed he was the biggest brother of them all as he entered the VIP house in Sydney. In a trailer for the show shown as he arrived at the CBB house in a limousine, he said, "I'm Meghan Markle's brother, I'm the biggest brother of them all." He added, "I told Prince Harry, I think she's going to ruin your life. She's very shallow." And when asked about how he felt about not being invited to Harry and Meghan's wedding, he said, "I'm not bitter, just baffled. It's hurtful given how close we once were. I'm confused and a little distraught because here is a person knowing the position she's in and knowing the scrutiny she's under and yet she has forgotten her flesh and blood." Thomas famously sent Harry a letter telling him it was not too late to back out of marrying her, saying his sister was obviously not the right woman for you. The highly anticipated show has already been highly controversial before it began after Australians were up in arms over stars being flown into the country to appear on the show when millions of people were forced to stay at home because of COVID. Katie Hopkins called Australia a penal colony and said the country is in a dark place with COVID lockdowns after she was fined and deported for flouting hotel quarantine rules. Hopkins was paid $200,000 and flown to Sydney by Channel 7 only to be booted out of the show and kicked out of the country for refusing to wear a mask and making a video, joking about surprising staff by opening her door stark naked when they delivered her food. Mr. Markle Jr. is expected to spill the beans on Meghan, who he has previously called a phony and a conceited woman. Mr. Markle, who is the only son of Thomas Markle and Meghan's half-brother, has previously claimed the last time he saw the Duchess of Sussex was in 2011, saying his family believed she was now a changed person. He was living with her father Thomas, sister Samantha Grant, also known as Samantha Markle, and stepmother Doria Ragland when Meghan was born in 1981. The window fitter was married for 11 years to Tracy Dooley until they divorced in 2001. And they had two sons, Thomas and Tyler Dooley. Mr. Markle does not have a relationship with his famous younger sister and was not invited to the Sussexes' wedding in May 2018. He has previously criticized his half-sister in the press, describing her as a phony and a jaded, shallow, conceited woman. The estranged brother has also blasted Meghan, 40, for cutting off their father, Thomas Markle Sr., after he was caught collaborating with U.S. paparazzi. In 2018, during an interview with DailyMail.com, Mr. Markle said the Duchess of Sussex could have handled her family tribulations differently from the start and avoided the rift with her father that has seen him speak out repeatedly. He said, "I think Meghan should have handled this differently. I think Meghan should have handled this from the beginning and I think it got ignored and swept under the carpet for so long. It's a shame where it's ended up, especially between her and my father. She's capable of doing anything, she's just got to want to do it. If she wants to make amends, by all means, she can do that. But she's got to want to do it." Joining Mr. Markle inside the house was Olympian Caitlyn Jenner, who flew to Australia from Los Angeles last month. The 71-year-old American personality, who is also running for governor of California, is rumored to be getting $500,000, £364,000, for her appearance on the show. Mr. Markle Jr.'s salary is unknown. The former advisor to Donald Trump, Omarosa Manigault-Newman, 47, has also joined the stars inside the house. Speaking of the former American president, she said, "You know how they say power corrupts a person. Donald Trump was drunk and mad on power." Also appearing in the trailer was Married at First Sight star Jessica Power, who said, "Ladies, lock up your husbands." The celebrities will be joined by Kyle Sandilands model ex-girlfriend Imogen Anthony, Australian Survivor star Luke Toki, former football players Matt Cooper and Dane Beams and 2021 Big Brother Australia star Daniel Hay. The show will be hosted by Sonia Kruger, with filming for the series commencing at Sydney's Olympic Park a week ago. Ahead of the show's launch, a Channel 7 spokesman said, "It's important to note that 7 ensures the arrival of international artists in Australia does not impact or impede on Australians returning home from overseas. Any international artists associated with 7 are on arrangements that exist outside of the flight cap on international arrivals and have been granted exemptions by the government to come here. All our artists also undertake quarantine measures in line with government legislation." Much like the arrival of world-class international actors bolstering Australia's film industry at present, these artists are contributing to the making of leading TV productions, creating jobs for many people at a difficult time for the creative and production sectors. Thomas Markle sent his estranged daughter Meghan a bouquet of red roses for her 40th birthday, but she hasn't responded, according to reports. The former lighting director, 77, sent the flowers along with a card which read, "Wishing you a happy birthday and brighter days," according to TMZ. The bouquet is reported to include a dozen red roses surrounding 2 yellow roses, said to symbolize the 2 children Meghan has with husband Prince Harry. Mr. Markle reportedly feels his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet, don't have enough family around them in California and so wanted to incorporate them into the flower arrangement. It comes after he threatened to take the Duke and Duchess to court in order to see his grandchildren. Speaking to Fox News last month, Mr. Markle said he was ready to take legal action in the very near future. Mr. Markle has had a strained relationship with his daughter ever since the royal wedding, before which he struck a deal with a paparazzi photographer to stage photos of him. He then pulled out of walking Meghan down the aisle at the ceremony after suffering a heart attack, with Prince Charles taking his place. Meghan later told Oprah that her father had betrayed her and she found it hard to reconcile with him. The relationship has only grown more tense as Mr. Markle has continued to talk to reporters and paparazzi. But with his ailing health continuing to deteriorate, Thomas has said he fears he will never get to meet Archie, too, or baby Lilibet, who was born on June 4. Speaking at his Rosarito, Mexico home, 70 miles from the Sussex's LA mansion, he said, "We shouldn't be punishing Lily for Meghan and Harry's bad behavior. Archie and Lily are small children. They're not politics. They're not pawns. They're not part of the game. And they're also royal and entitled to the same rights as any other royal. I will be petitioning the California courts for the rights to see my grandchildren in the very near future," he added.